All right, so in this one, what I want to do is I want to explain to you why closet heterosexuality is keeping you average with women. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Christian, and I help dateable men remove their social blocks so they can stop living like closet heterosexuals. Now, you've probably had it before. Yeah, you see a beautiful woman who you want to start a conversation with, sober during the daytime. But rather than walking over, rather than starting a conversation, you most likely do what every other guy does. You think too many steps ahead, you experience failure in advance, you reject yourself on her behalf. And the fucked up thing is, whilst you're playing these mental gymnastics, she disappears into the crowd, never even knowing you existed. And then what happens is she ends up with some other guy who's no richer, smarter, better looking than you. All because he had the balls to walk over and start a conversation, all because he wasn't conditioned into the closet of heterosexuality. Now listen, closet heterosexuality, this is not your fault. You have been brainwashed by mainstream propaganda that approaching women is wrong, it's creepy, you shouldn't do that. Socrates said it best. Socrates said, the beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. The way that I define cold approach is starting conversations with women. There is nothing wrong, there is nothing creepy, there is nothing shameful about doing that. What is creepy is going to nightclubs, approaching women at 2 a.m. who are too drunk to even think straight. What is creepy is meeting up with strangers on dating apps who you've never met and going on a date. What is creepy is walking out into your city centre, checking out women, giving them side-eye glances, walking through the city centre with your friend, giving them a nudge, being like, oh, bro, check out her ass, but not doing anything about it. Daytime cold approach, the ability to transfer a positive emotional state, to leave women better than you found them. Nobody is allergic to a compliment. This is the most non-creepy way of beginning relationships with the feminine. Because think about it, when you are in a busy public area during the daytime, there's lots of people around, there is nothing wrong, there is nothing shameful, there is nothing creepy about doing this. The problem with guys right now is you've been brainwashed into thinking it is wrong. And what happens is you get further brainwashed by mainstream propaganda into believing the gentleman's way, the right way, the noble way of meeting women is through dating apps. But what they don't tell you is dating apps are keeping you average with women. Yeah? What's happening right now is even though you are a successful guy, even though you're building a business, you're successful on paper, you're in shape, you've got money, you dress well, you've figured out every other area. When it comes to your dating life, you are taking a passive approach. You are hoping to get lucky in the digital circus. You are hoping to outsource your balls, your confidence, your social sovereignty to rigged algorithms. Because let's be real, AI has completely flattened the playing field. Every profile looks the same. It's impossible to stand out online anymore. You might think you're speaking to Veronica from Warsaw. You're actually speaking to Kevin Nagayan in Ho Chi Minh City. The only way to stand out in the overcrowded, oversaturated sexual marketplace isn't by outsourcing your balls to rigged algorithms, isn't by going to nightclubs, getting white girl wasted, waking up the next morning, depleted bank balance, banging headache, isn't by strategically getting women through your social circle. It's by growing a set of balls, walking outside and delighting in the feminine, walking over to women and giving them a strong, shameless compliment. Because the thing is with guys is, when you're outside and you're seeing these beautiful women who you want to start conversations with, the fucked up thing is, every time you see a woman and you don't approach her, you are saying to the mainstream propaganda, I'm happy being a static spectator in my own life. I'm happy being conditioned. I'm happy living like a closet heterosexual. So every time you approach, and this is what a lot of guys don't understand, most guys who see daytime cold approach, they think, oh, that's just a way to get women. It's all about picking up chicks. Now, for me, daytime cold approach is the most aggressive form of self-development. If you're an entrepreneur, mastering the skill of daytime cold approach will allow you to explode your income. Seduction is sales, it's a transfer of certainty. When you're out here and you're approaching and you're doing 20 approaches in a single afternoon, you're not just investing into your dating life, you are investing into the man who you want to embody. You are improving your confidence, your charisma, your appetite to take risk. And then what happens is you start to separate yourself from every other guy. If you walk outside today, Look at how conditioned the mainstream masses are. Most guys are not even comprehending watching this type of content. Most guys are not even thinking about walking outside today and starting conversations with women. So if you're watching this video, if you resonate with me, if you resonate with my freedom from bullshit philosophy, if you're tired of living like a closet heterosexual, then what that says to me is you're probably not normal, right? And daytime call approach, it's not for normal individuals. It's not for guys who want to be passive spectators. It's not for guys who want to be told what they need to do. It's not for guys who are happy to work 9-to-5 jobs asking for permission when they're allowed to go for a shit. Closet heterosexuality is the reason why your dating life is bang average. It's the reason why you feel approach anxiety. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're broken. It's not because you're unworthy. It's because you've been brainwashed by the brain dead into thinking approaching women is wrong. All this is starting conversations with people. How do you think our grandparents met? It wasn't by dating apps. It was starting conversations with each other. And whenever guys say things to me like, Christian, call approach doesn't work. For me, that's like saying lifting weights doesn't work. It's like saying martial arts doesn't work. It's like saying talking to people doesn't work. This works as long as you do. But what I find is the reason why so many men stay average with call approach is because they're not doing enough volume. They're not pushing themselves hard enough on a daily basis. Walking outside and just doing one approach is not enough to undo all of the decades of closet heterosexuality. When I'm working with my clients, especially the guys who I'm working with in person, and they've flown out to meet me in a city, maybe Barcelona, Lisbon, Warsaw, and I'm taking them through 3 days of social renaissance. By the end of those 3 days, they've been pushed into over 100 daytime approaches. But the beautiful thing is, when they're in person with me, they are mic'd up with invisible wireless microphones, which means I can give them detailed feedback on their body language, their conversation skills, their proximity. So I say to my guys, one approach with me is worth at least 30 approaches on your own. Because what you'll find, the deeper you get with daytime call approach is, it's not about taking action, it's about taking conscious action. The amount of guys who I've worked with who'd been doing well over 200 call approaches, but still felt as though they weren't getting the results that their efforts deserve, is because they still had these shackles of closet heterosexuality. They weren't showing up as themselves. They were showing up as their conditioning. It felt as though they were wearing a mask. Fear, sedation, compliance, all stitched into an identity that they called themselves. This is why the advice, just be yourself, doesn't work, because when you're in a conversation with a woman, it's not really you who's talking, it's your conditioning. And you're not gonna break out of closet heterosexuality by just doing one approach a day, just doing 2 approaches a day. You need to hit this skill hard. That's why when I'm in person with my guys, we're doing at least 35 conscious call approaches per day. This is how we turn decades into days. This is how we take a sledgehammer to closet heterosexuality. And what I say to my guys, especially the guys who are in person with me for 3 days of one-on-one social renaissance, is this is a 3-day investment for a lifetime of abundance, for a lifetime of no longer feeling like a closet heterosexual. Closet heterosexuality is the reason why your dating life sucks balls right now. Closet heterosexuality is the reason why dating apps feel more appealing. Closet heterosexuality is the reason why, even though you've ticked all of the other boxes, you still feel as though your dating life is lagging behind. Now, we've only just scratched the surface in this video, because what I've done is I put together a free cold approach course. This is the course that I put together 2 years after I started Cold Approach. It's completely free, but if there's one thing that you do today, hit the first link below this video and download my free Cold Approach course. It's called Conversation Killer. A lot of guys are like, Christian, why do you give away all of this information? Why are you not doing what all these other gurus are doing, selling courses? It's because when you eventually become one of my clients, I already want you to have the foundations in place. My best clients, the guys who get the best results, the results that you will see for yourself on Christian Casanova testimonials page on YouTube, they downloaded Conversation Killer, they consumed the material, they went out, they tried doing this stuff for themselves, and then when they eventually reached out to work with me, we just took what they did to the fucking moon. So if you're tired of living like a closet heterosexual, you understand just doing one approach a day is not enough to get you the results that you want. If you're just doing one approach a day, it's like going to the gym, doing one set and going home. You need to stay out in the field long enough for the momentum to kick in. You need to stay out long enough in the field to attain what I call godly frequency, which is the removal of doubt. The final thing that I want to say to you, when I'm in person with my guys and we're doing 35 approaches in a single afternoon, by the time they've got to approach 7 or 8, they will be experiencing something they've not experienced for a long time. They feel the removal of doubt, the removal of fear, the removal of everything that isn't them. And when you're in this state of godly frequency, what happens is you can start to experience success in advance. You feel like yourself. You no longer feel like a closet heterosexual. But the problem is, too many guys are not pushing themselves hard enough when they're out here to approach. So, simple call to action from this video. Download Conversation Killer, first link below this video. That will give you everything you need to get started and get results with daytime cold approach.